homeschool moms or even homeschool dads. This is LaWanda Shields again with Two Cute Classrooms, and today we're going to be talking about taking a trip to the grocery store. This is a part of my Teachable Moments series. This would be really great for parents, teachers. You can also do this whether you actually take a trip to the grocery store or not. I guess you can really manage to do this virtually with your students if you have to, especially now in the time and age in which we're living with. We can't get out to a grocery store, and I don't know how you would write that up on a field trip form to tell your principal that you're taking your babies to the grocery store. You might get away with it, but I don't know. But I think it would be a great idea if you're going to do a trip to the grocery store that you do it virtually, or you can take your camera with you and film yourself as you're going through the grocery store aisles and talk to your students about what you're doing. One of the first things you could do, the biggest, talk about budgeting. So if you're the math teacher, even if you're the English teacher, you can talk to your students about how you create a budget, how you create a plan on what you're going to buy while you're at the grocery store. You might want to give them a certain amount of money, whether it's actual little play money, or if you want to just give them an imaginary, just say, well, this is your budget, this is how much you can spend, and just go from there. So you can talk to them about the difference between needs and wants, because I know myself, when we're in the grocery store, there's some items that I go in to get that I absolutely have to have, but then as I'm passing through the candy aisle, or I'm over by the juices, you know, I might pick up a few things that I don't really need for the house. I might pick up some things I need for me. I don't really need them. I just really want them. So you talk to your students about needs and wants, the difference between those. You talk about how you do your budget. You can go over all these wonderful money management skills. Another thing that you can do with your students or with your own kids if you're at the grocery store is talk to them about the life cycles again. You could talk about the life cycle of various plants, like those fruits and vegetables that you have in the store. You might want to pick one particular one out and talk about how it starts out as a seed and it develops. And you can also get into the different parts of a plant. There are a lot of things that you can do when you're talking about the various fruits and vegetables that are in a store. You might want to talk about pet care. If you're in the meat section, where does this come from? You know, if it's beef, you can explain this comes from a cow. You can do this whole 9 yards if that's what you want to do with your kids. You can talk to your students about when you are taking a trip to the grocery store is the various countries in which your food comes from. So we're looking at beans, or we're looking at lentils, or we're looking at even like chocolate, you know, the cocoa. Where does chocolate come from? Where does this cocoa come from? Where do bananas come from? You know we can get some bananas and different things from Florida, but what other countries grow bananas? You know, all these various things you can have in research countries. You can point out, all this can be a geography lesson just from a trip to the grocery store. Another thing that you can do while taking a trip to your grocery store is choices of the people that work in the grocery store. You can talk about the different levels of jobs. You have your cashier, you have your stock person, you have your managers, you have your store owners. You can go through the whole hierarchy of the various types of jobs that consists of the people that work inside of a grocery store. Amazing, huh? Career day. And you can talk about how these grocery stores actually help our community. Make sure you keep it on the help the community part. Don't get into all the other stuff, the political stuff. But talk about the grocery store. Another thing that you can do is talk to your students about time management. About, you know, don't go in the grocery store or like you go into one of those shopping centers and stay too long. You talk about how you would manage your time if you happen to go to the grocery store. Another thing that I learned is when I'm shopping in the grocery store, I learned that there's some pitfalls. You can talk to them about various propaganda ways that product owners try to get you to purchase their product, and how certain items that cost more are strategically placed by the checkout. Those little mini versions of items are always placed by the checkout Because while you're standing in line, they figure you're going to look at this and you're going to want to pick it up. Or if you have small kids, they have these little toys and stuff there, because they know little babies going to have a fit to have them, and mama wants to keep baby quiet, so a lot of time mama's going to pick them up. These are all tricks. They also strategically place certain items in certain spots in the store. You can talk to your students or you can talk to your kids about these. But these are all things that you can talk about when you take your trip to the grocery store. So again, this has been LaWanda Shields with 2 Cute Classrooms, talking about teachable moments that you can have with your students or your kids when you take a trip to the grocery store, whether it's a virtual trip or whether it's an actual trip. Be sure to tune in to me again. Be sure to hit the bell for notifications. Be sure to subscribe if you have not. And stay tuned for the next video.